Hi, and welcome back to episode 3. In episode 2, we had battled the waves out to Santa Cruz Island, where we dropped anchor and hunkered down for the coming windstorm. It turned out that we had picked a really good place to anchor, and the effects of the storm weren't nearly as brutal as we had expected. Let's pick up the story where we've just gotten up and are planning our first full day at Santa Cruz. Okay, morning of day 2, I guess, and then our first morning we woke up on the boat. A little bit windy out in the anchorage, a little rolly. It blew us some pretty hard wind last night. We may have drug on our anchor a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, maybe 50 feet, and it re-engaged. We also had a wind shift in the middle of the night too that blew us towards the shore for about 30 minutes, and it wrapped the rope around the keel, and we were able to get that undone though pretty simply. So yeah, it's a lot of wind chop out here, but still it's I don't know, happy to be here than anywhere else. Probably come up with a plan today as to what we want to do. Maybe find a place with a little less waves, but I think we're in a good spot. Not that much swell. It is windy though. How'd you guys sleep?
Off the keel.
I slept fine. We slept 12 hours. I felt a little stiff because I've been in bed for so long.
I stayed up like...
Yeah, quite a bit of wind last night. But we slept really good though. Like Jess said, we slept 12 hours, so that's pretty awesome. And maybe we'll pull up a little closer to the wall and see if we can get out of this wind a little bit. And as it turned out, after looking at the chart plotter data, we did break free at about 1:30 in the morning. I'm guessing this was caused by the momentary wind shift we had during the middle of the night. Fortunately, our gear was up to the task of re-anchoring itself. This is one of the reasons why I really like having an oversized anchor and oversized ground tackle, so that I can manage this stuff. I would not have wanted to be out here with a really cheesy anchor. We've got out 200 feet of half-inch rope on 25 feet of chain. So we're holding all right. Just kind of hunkered down right now.
Luckily, it's not raining.
No. Repositioned the boat into a little bit more protected area, so now it's pretty mellow in here. Still breezy out there, probably 20-25 knots, but we aren't getting the direct wind in the boat right now, which is great. There was a bit too much of a surf break to land our dinghy, so we spent the morning making breakfast and coming up with a fish catching strategy. Cass spent the morning imagining there was a chicken hiding in our boat somewhere.
Okay, we got bacon out here. Oh, let's see how we're doing. We made a grease fire yet? Let's see. Oh yeah, nice little grease fire. Yeah, we're getting there. That's some just boat bacon, if there ever was some. Yum.
All right, getting ready to maybe get in the water and see if we can find some food to eat for this crew. Let's see how it goes. I'd done some lobstering in my life, but had never been spearfishing before, so I knew today there would be a lot of learning. If you think you want to go lobstering or fishing in the Channel Islands, just know that there's lots of areas that are closed and restricted.
Okay, there he goes. This is Greg's first little dive attempt. He's gonna catch us some dinner! What'd you see down there? Can we shoot it? You said a gray fish with blue lips. Might be a blue rockfish down there in this kelp. We're in this kelp.
I'll grab my tank. I can't swim to this stuff because it's too thick.
As I told Sam, swimming through kelp on the surface is nearly impossible. It wasn't until I got my scuba gear on and got deeper in the water that I could actually swim around the stalks and not in the kelp mat that covers the surface. When you get in the water with your spear gun, you have big dreams of catching fish for your family. In reality, however, when you're completely inexperienced, trying to find fish underwater is a bit more intimidating. I'd never dove in kelp before, and the experience was almost magical. It really feels like you're in some type of rainforest with a canopy of trees above you. Even if you're not looking for fish or lobster, if you're a diver, I really encourage everyone to try this experience at least once.
It's totally beautiful. Yeah, totally surreal. I totally went face to face with a seal. I saw one lobster, but he was in a cave.
I was burning up a lot of air trying to find lobster habitat, so at this point I thought it would be best if Sam towed me around the kelp till I saw a spot that might have some of those guys. This is the kind of spot I was looking for, with lots of big rocks and crevices. Sorry about the poor framing, because I'm just learning how to film underwater. But if you look carefully, you'll see the antennas of a little lobster sticking out of this small crack. I moved around the rock till I found a cave that I could reach him through, but when I touched him, he took off and it was off to the races. It's amazing how fast and how far these guys can go in just a few seconds. I had a good bearing on which way he went though, so I took off and swam that direction. Again, sorry about the framing, but I did eventually find him in all this moss and I was able to reach down and grab a hold of him and get him into my lobster bag. I was super stoked. At this point, I was starting to get low on air, so it was time to head to the surface and get back to our boat.
Hello, is anyone there? Hello, is anyone there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here. Hello. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. Yes, good to see you, Mr.
Hey,
Lobster.
Mr. Krusty.
Hello.
Hi,
Would you like this shiny plastic thing? Happy New Year. I know it's not the best way to end 2020, but a lot of us are in the same boat. Oh dear. Oh dear.
It was New Year's Eve, and we were still feeling the full force of the wind. Fortunately, we were close enough to the cliffs that the waves weren't too bad at this point. The only problem with this anchorage is that sometimes the swell will wrap around the island and make this place pretty wavy. They were forecasting 30-knot gusts, so we knew this would be another night where we had to just hunker down. But it's the last day of 2020. Cass, what was your day like?
Well, it was a little bit.
So you just hung out with Mom on the boat?
Yeah.
And that's a good day, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did a little doodling. We did taco burrito.
I wish
It was not a bad
I
last
wish
day
I
for-
could throw up
No.
right now
You wish you could? Why?
because I like getting so much support.
We've kind of had this conversation where we're wondering, what's the longest you've ever spent away from land?
Without feet touching dry land.
So I'm sure a lot of people will be like, oh no, I've spent 8 months on an aircraft carrier. That's cool and everything. Great, you win. But what about the average person? But today was our first day here. Today was just a day of brutal, not brutal winds, but reasonably enough winds that you don't want to be out on the water. And so we just spent the day diving for lobster, caught one, and then I think tomorrow when the wind dies off, it'll be a whole new animal. Yeah, and it's New Year's tonight, so get ready for that party. Jess is rocking the inReach.
Yeah.
That's our only connection to the outside world. If you do come to Santa Cruz, realize there's no coverage at all. If you hike to the top of the island, maybe you'll have some, but down in the anchorage, at nighttime, an email or two might pass through your phone, but not much more.
Oh my gosh. He uncurled when I first put him in the hot water. Well, his head's gone. His tail completely flattened out, all the way out, and then maybe 2 minutes later, or a minute and a half later, it started curling again, and then now it's doing all kinds of
All this little propulsion.
I don't remember that because I guess I don't normally have it slightly sitting out of water like that. Maybe.
Whoa.
He just curled up tighter.
He did?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff that happens on a sailing trip. So Jess is making the lobster pasta. right?
Yes. Too bad we didn't have. If we'd had a little bit more lobster, it would be a little bit more exciting. But that's why we have turf.
That whole steak is good.
Yes.
The small one? Okay.
Yeah.
And we're still stuck out here in this crazy wind. Still windy. It's crazy out here.
It's totally windy.
There's not much lobster in this, but when there is, I taste it.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's good.
If you can catch, honey, if you can catch your 7 tomorrow, that'd be great. Because then we could have tons of lobster with
And with a
with gnocchi. Is it called gnocchi? Mm-hmm. All I know is I've hardly ever made gnocchi, but I bought it.
We had a great dinner of lobster and pasta. I don't know why, but for some reason we never really felt seasick in the boat. Even though it was rocking and going back and forth the entire time, none of us ever felt ill. I'm not really sure why that was. It's got Sam out there.
Well, not that windy. I mean, you know, it's just like blowing as hard as it has been the rest of this trip.
It's been blowing hard on this trip for since we left.
About 32 hours.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's blowing hard enough that my glass of champagne was here to celebrate the new year and it went across and hit the wall. So now we're keeping it in the drink holder. But that's how it is. That's how much we're healing just being in Anchor.
Oh wait, do you
But it's cool. It's better than
that, or do you want a
being at home. I mean, we're not getting much, but right now we're getting just a little bit right now. 5 degrees of heel from the wind, but then when it really gets going, it gets going crazy. One of the oddest things about scuba diving is how many lobster traps there are underwater that are abandoned, that don't even have rope, that don't even have buoys attached to them. And also how many there are that have buoys attached to them, but you can tell they've been sitting down there for months. Like there's algae growing on them and starfish moving in and such. So that was one of the oddest things I saw today. So many traps that are not doing much down there. I don't know how that happens. Yeah, I don't know if they were blown into the kelp by some big storm a long time ago and they can't find them. There's no bait left or anything. Just curiosity, I noticed today. Oh yeah, we had a bottle of this red wine on the last trip and it's still really good. The QP. QP, sponsor us. I know, it's great wine. Love it.
We're never going to get sponsored by anybody.
Nobody's ever going to sponsor us. We're like the sailboat of misfit sponsors.
Maybe shitshow.com.
This is how much you get it, how good we are. We have our DeWalt spotlight shining up on the ceiling to give us this red light. We have it up here in the fluorescent bulb, but this actually uses less power, and we're a little bit behind the curve on power. We're down to 80% of our battery capacity because it's the middle of winter and the light's just not shining that much. Yeah. So one thing you have to consider if you're going sailing in December and you have your sailboat prepped how you normally do things is remember that one, the sun's a lot lower and it's up for a lot less time. So make sure you have plenty of capacity. We knocked down 20% of our battery yesterday and through last night. And then we ran solar all day today, and charging everything we used yesterday, we were able to gain 2%. So we're up to 82% today. So over tonight, we're gonna see what exactly happens with the solar and where we're at. We have a backup panel, a secondary panel we can set up too. But I think between the secondary panels, the main panel, and the outboard, if we run it a little bit, we're gonna be able to keep our power going.
It's almost 2021. We were talking to Cassie about New Year's resolution.
I'm definitely gonna probably do a lot of making crafts. Maybe my friends might come over since the corona is gonna be bye-bye.
Yes, that sounds like a great resolution.
So I'm definitely gonna play with my friends a lot.
Captain Briggs, you got a resolution?
Getting the water fixed on this boat. So,
Jess, do you have any resolutions or?
Well, I was gonna try to pick my mandolin up again. Yeah, maybe being a little bit more organized.
I resolved to get that EMT certification and then spend less time on my phone and more time meditating.
What time is it?
oh, it's close. It's
Oh my god, oh my god, we have 15 seconds. I'm not kidding.
Okay, let's do
15
it.
seconds!
Yes.
15 seconds!
9,
9,
Here.
7,
Here.
6,
Okay. Oh,
5,
4,
Yes.
3, 2, 1. New Year!
Keep going.
Double-handed. Here.
Ready? Oh, well.
To 2021.
To 2021.
May we never
And
see
be done
another
with.
pandemic.
Yeah.
I know.
No more pandemics.
Greg says
Yes.
I have,
Lots more sailing.
Greg says we have 50% chance. That just makes the start of my year really.
I can't. I
pretty
don't
bad.
want to drink this. I don't.
I hope you enjoyed episode 3 and found it was well worth the wait. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. I'm just so close. We hope you make it back for episode 4, where we wake up in the rolliest anchorage that we've had yet. That's just ridiculous. We go in search of a new anchorage, and along the way, I get my first shot at a fish, and we finally get to touch dry land.